Dricus Du Plessis shuts the door on the Rivalry. UFC 312 recap: Du Plessis dominates, Weili reigns supreme, and rising stars shine in Sydney. Last night, Saturday, February 8, 2025, the UFC took center stage at Kudos Bank Arena in Sydney, Australia, for UFC 312. While the event didn't quite justify its hefty $80 price tag, there were still moments of excitement, particularly in the title fights. The undercard delivered some entertaining bouts, albeit with few finishes, while the main card struggled to capture attention until the two championship clashes took over. Let's break down the standout performances and techniques from the night. Du Plessis puts the rivalry to rest. A year after their first encounter, Dricus Du Plessis made it clear who had evolved more. From the opening bell, Du Plessis controlled nearly every exchange, leaving Strickland with little room to establish his offense. The former champion had a brief moment of success in the third round, landing a solid 90-second sequence where he connected on counters and right-hand leads. However, beyond that, it was the same jab-teep-jab strategy that Du Plessis had already solved in their previous fight. Surprisingly, Du Plessis largely abandoned his wrestling and instead focused on his devastating kicking game. He relentlessly attacked Strickland's legs and body, wearing him down while opening up opportunities for his powerful punches and spinning strikes. The defining moment came in the fourth round when Du Plessis shattered Strickland's nose with a right hand, nearly forcing a stoppage. The sight of Strickland's bloodied face will likely be the enduring image of this rivalry. With this win, Du Plessis firmly established himself as the superior fighter and closed the book on his feud with Strickland. Zhang Weili's masterclass against Suarez. Tatiana Suarez looked like a legitimate threat to Zhang Weili for about 3 minutes. The undefeated challenger executed an early clinch takedown, and for a brief moment, it seemed like Weili might struggle. Stuck on her back, the champion couldn't generate much movement, though she did well to prevent Suarez from advancing into dominant positions. When Weili attempted to scramble, Suarez latched onto a guillotine choke, the same move that finished Jessica Andrade. However, that would be her last significant moment of success. Weili escaped the submission attempt and immediately took control. She shut down Suarez's takedown attempts while punishing her with crisp strikes. As the fight progressed, Suarez's attacks slowed, while Weili remained sharp, bouncing in and out of range and landing powerful right hands. In a display of her evolution as a fighter, Weili even scored a takedown of her own. With this dominant performance, Weili not only defended her strawweight title but also solidified her status as the best female fighter in MMA today. Talison Teixeira's explosive debut. Justin Tafa's presence on a UFC pay-per-view card in 2025 was questionable to begin with, and Talison Teixeira wasted no time proving why. The towering 6 feet 7 inches Brazilian prospect had finished all his previous opponents in the first round, and this fight was no exception. From the opening seconds, Teixeira went on the attack, launching a head kick before pressing Tafa against the cage. Within moments, he unleashed a brutal knee and elbow combination that sent Tafa crashing to the canvas, securing a lightning-fast stoppage. Teixeira made a loud statement in his UFC debut, and at just 25 years old, he's a heavyweight prospect worth keeping an eye on. Alexandre Topuria proves mortal. While Alexandre Topuria shares the same last name, fighting stance, and tactical approach as his brother, UFC featherweight champion Ilia Topuria, he showed he isn't quite the unstoppable force his sibling is. Against Colby Thickness, who had former champion Alexander Volkanovski in his corner, Topuria displayed solid fundamentals, even dropping his opponent with a well-placed overhand. However, unlike Ilia, Alexandre didn't press for a finish. Instead, he was content to secure a clear-cut decision win in a measured performance. It was a strong UFC debut, but he didn't show the same relentless finishing instinct that has made his brother a dominant champion. Additional highlights. Gabriel Santos submits Jack Jenkins. Third-round rear-naked choke. Santos showcased his well-rounded skills, bouncing back from an early knockdown with a strong submission game. After struggling to find momentum early in his UFC run, he has now strung together 2 wins and looks to be finding his rhythm at featherweight. Quillan Sockle destroys Unshul Jubli. 16-second knockout in one of the night's most electric moments. Sockle floored Jubli with a devastating 1-2 combination almost immediately, securing a rapid first-round finish. It was the perfect way to kick off the night in front of a roaring Australian crowd. Final thoughts. While UFC 312 had its share of forgettable moments, the event still delivered a few standout performances. Du Plessis cemented his dominance over Strickland, Weili reinforced her position as the best in the division, and Teixeira and Sokold introduced themselves in spectacular fashion. Looking ahead, the UFC middleweight division remains an exciting landscape, and with rising prospects making waves, the future looks bright for the sport.